Ladies and gentlemen, 1 month is long enough to change what you are on the inside, and what you are on the inside becomes what you carry in your hands. Does not begin in the bank, it begins in the being. People chase numbers, creators assume identities. For the next 30 days, millionaire. Then, then watch the world rearrange to keep faith with the choice you have made. Begin with the end. Close your eyes each morning and enter a quiet, drowsy ease between waking and sleep. Don't beg, don't wish, assume. Let a single, vivid scene imply the result is already yours, the soft click of a pen as you sign a contract that pays beyond your former ceiling, weight of a metal card in your palm, the glow of a message that reads, approved. Keep it short and loop it gently for a few minutes until your body answers with relief. Gratitude, inevitability, not the picture, is the creative power. When the feeling rises, the scene is done. You have planted the seed. Assume the identity now. This is where everything begins. To think of yourself as becoming a millionaire in 1 month is not about chasing money, wearing the state of wealth as though it were a garment you slip into and refuse to take off. Wait for the evidence to show up in your bank account. You decide that you are already the person who holds that kind of wealth. Then you let life mirror that decision. The key is to understand that consciousness is the true cause. What you claim inwardly becomes what you experience outwardly. You are not building from the outside in, you are creating from the inside out. Moment to notice how most people live. They measure their worth by the numbers they can see. Salary slips, account balances, or debts. Circumstances to dictate their identity. But the one who truly understands the creative process knows that the opposite is true. Circumstance bends to identity. When you say, I am a millionaire, you are not pretending. You are declaring the inner fact, the seed planted in imagination. And every seed must bring forth after its kind. Just as an apple seed cannot yield oranges, if wealth cannot produce poverty. Once assumed, it must find its way into form. This assumption is not daydreaming. It is not wishful thinking, a deliberate inhabiting of the end result. You walk, talk, and think from the conclusion as though it were already yours. When you wake up in the morning, you carry yourself differently. You are no longer the person chasing opportunities, one magnetizing them. The world begins to treat you as you treat yourself. People feel the certainty in your presence, to the quiet authority in your words, and doors that were once closed begin to creak open. Chance. It is the outer reflection of the inner state you have assumed. Assuming identity requires persistence. The old self will try to argue, will remind you of bills, of fears, of past failures. But remember, you are not required to obey those voices. Each time they rise, gently but firmly replace them with the new identity. I am wealthy. I am established. I am a millionaire now. Speak it, but more importantly, feel it. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the confidence. When you persist long enough, the new state hardens into fact, and the outer world is compelled to rearrange itself in agreement. In the coming month, your task is simple: hold the identity. Let appearances discourage you. If a payment delays, if a deal falls through, do not panic. Instead, remind yourself, part of the rearrangement. The result is already mine. This steadiness keeps you aligned with the end. And because you remain aligned, calm, fresh, bold, unexpected, you will see opportunities you once overlooked. A new client may appear, an investment may flourish, forgotten talent may suddenly demand expression. The how is never your burden is only to remain in the state of the end fulfilled. When you assume identity, actions arise naturally. You will not need to force them. A millionaire does not hesitate to make decisive moves. Millionaire does not shrink from bold steps. And so you will notice yourself behaving differently. Not out of strain, the identity is guiding you. You will pick up the phone you once feared to dial. You will pitch the idea you once kept hidden. You will raise your standard and say no to what no longer fits. Each of these acts will be the evidence of the state expressing itself. Assumption is powerful because it bypasses effort. Too many people think they must fight and claw their way to success. Who assumes does not fight. He accepts. He accepts that it is done, and then he walks through the days letting life confirm it. In 1 month, with daily assumption, the gap between who you are inside and what you see outside will close rapidly. It has no choice but to mirror the state that you consistently occupy. This is why the instruction is clear. Assume the identity now, not tomorrow. See a sign now. Because now is the only place where creation happens. So, begin at this very moment. See yourself not as striving, as already possessing. Feel yourself not as lacking, but as one who has arrived. Carry that feeling into every interaction, every decision. Quiet moment. And when the 30 days complete, you will look back and realize that you did not chase wealth. You became it. And because you became it, the world had no choice but to yield the evidence. This is the secret. This is the beginning. Assume the identity now. The millionaire already will reveal himself in 1 short month. Live from the end. This is the great secret that unlocks all creation. From the end means to occupy the feeling of the wish fulfilled right now, as though the result you long for has already materialized. It is not waiting or yearning, it is entering into the state where the outcome is already complete, and then allowing your actions, your thoughts, emotions to flow naturally from that place. If the desire is to be a millionaire in 1 month, then living from the end is not thinking, I will get there. It is thinking, I am already there, and everything I do now simply expresses this truth. This shift is subtle yet radical. It changes your foundation. No longer are you moving toward wealth, you are moving from wealth. Consider the difference between trying and being. You try to become, you are silently admitting that you are not. You are placing wealth in the future, always just beyond your grasp. When you live from the end, you collapse time. You bring the future into the present moment and let your mind and body align with it. You walk differently, you speak differently, and the world responds accordingly. To the person who insists that wealth is already theirs, circumstances bend to confirm the assumption. Opportunities that once hid in shadows suddenly step into the light. They had been waiting for you to claim your role. To live from the end requires imagination. Construct scenes in your mind that imply your desire is accomplished. For some, it might be the sensation of opening an email that confirms a large transaction. For others, it may be the feeling of handing over a check with 6 zeros. In a home you once thought impossible to afford, the exact picture is less important than the sensation it produces. Does it feel real? Bring relief, joy, confidence? When it does, you are living from the end. That emotional certainty is the creative act. Once planted, it must bear fruit. Yet this way of living is not confined to a few minutes of visualization. It becomes a continuous posture of the soul. You take the feeling with you into traffic, into business meetings, into casual conversations. And because you carry this state, reacting as the old self would, where once you may have panicked over a bill, now you respond with calm assurance. Once you hesitated to pursue an opportunity, now you act decisively. Your choices align with the reality you have already claimed. You do not force them. They arise naturally because the end is already secured. There is a profound psychological shift here. From the end bypasses doubt because it eliminates the gap. You no longer ask, when will it happen? Or what if it doesn't? Because inner world it already has. And the subconscious mind, which governs behavior and perception, does not argue with what it is consistently fed. It receives the repeated feeling of wealth as a present fact. It accepts it as truth and begins to organize your life around it. This is why some people experience sudden insights, serendipitous meetings, uncanny coincidences when they practice this method. Their subconscious is simply orchestrating the outer to reflect the inner. From the end also disarms fear. Fear only thrives when you see a gap between where you are and where you want to be. When you collapse the distance by assuming the end, fear has no soil to grow in. Instead, you cultivate certainty. This certainty then fuels bold action. Who already feels wealthy does not shrink back from opportunities. They recognize them as natural extensions of who they are. This is the essence of inspired action, not forced but flowing from identity. For 30 days, make this practice your constant companion. Each morning, the silence and feel the result already done. See yourself not as someone striving, but as someone established. Carry that feeling into the day and refuse to let appearances dislodge it. At night, before you drift into sleep, return again to the end. Your scenes of fulfillment until they feel as natural as breathing. In doing this, you saturate your subconscious with the end result until it becomes the only reality it can express. Living from the end is not about fooling yourself, choosing which reality you will dwell in until the outer world catches up. And it will catch up. The outer is compelled to reflect the inner. Mirror is compelled to reflect your image. So choose wisely. If you desire to be a millionaire in 1 month, then be it now, inside, in feeling, imagination. Walk as one who has already arrived. Think as one who already possesses. Speak as one whose wealth is secure, and often in less time than you think. The world will rearrange itself to agree with you. This is the creative law, is how living from the end transforms a dream into a fact. Mastering inner conversation is one of the most powerful disciplines you can ever develop. Every silent word you speak to yourself is a seed that eventually grows into visible form. Most people do not realize that they are continually talking to themselves. They replay memories, predict outcomes, argue with fears, question their worth, all in silence. These hidden dialogues run beneath the surface of awareness, yet they carry enormous creative power. Mind listens to its own whispers, and the body and world obey. If you want to be a millionaire in 1 month, you must take command of these conversations and make them agree with wealth, success, and abundance. Think of your inner talk as a script for your life. You say to yourself, I can't afford this, or things never work out for me. You are writing a scene where lack and frustration appear. When you tell yourself, I touch prospers, or I am surrounded by opportunities, you write a scene where wealth flows toward you. Does not distinguish between words spoken aloud and words spoken within. It responds to the state those words produce. Discipline in inner conversation is not optional, it is essential. You cannot speak defeat in silence and expect victory in reality. Rehearse limitation inside and expect freedom outside. The two always agree. And yet, the wonderful truth is that you have complete control over the script. You can interrupt the dialogue of fear and rewrite it at any moment. With the way is opening now, you can replace I'm under pressure with I thrive under divine timing. Every new statement is a fresh seed. If you persist in watering it with belief, it will grow. At first, you may notice the old voices fighting for attention, remind you of past failures, or warn you about disappointment. Do not condemn yourself for hearing them. Simply refuse to dwell there, gently but firmly. For example, if your mind says, it's impossible to make that much money in a month, counter immediately with, ready done in me, and life is aligning with it now. The point is not to win an argument, but to redirect your focus. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. Soon your inner conversations will align so completely with abundance that anything less will feel foreign. This practice affects your emotions and actions more than you may realize. Inner talk shapes the way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, of energy you project. If your inner dialogue is anxious, your body feels heavy and tense. If your inner dialogue is confident, relaxes, and your presence expands, people sense it and respond. Opportunities come because they are magnetized to the tone you carry. Is why some people seem lucky. They are simply in harmony with inner conversations that support their goals. To master this practice, aside moments throughout the day to listen consciously. Ask yourself, what am I saying within? Notice the tone. With doubt or worry, change it immediately. Imagine a trusted friend calling to congratulate you on your success. Hear the words, "You would do it, I'm so proud of you." Feel how natural it is to hear that, and let it become your new dialogue. Conversations are not fantasy, they are creation. The subconscious mind treats them as fact and builds your reality around them. Nighttime is especially powerful. As you drift towards sleep, the conscious mind grows quiet and the subconscious becomes receptive. Fill those moments with conversations of abundance. Hear yourself thanking someone for their support. Hear the voice of a mentor affirming your progress. Laughter of loved ones celebrating your breakthrough. Let these voices saturate your mind until they play automatically. When you rise in the morning, still be echoing, guiding your mood and shaping your day. Mastering inner conversation is not about ignoring reality, rewriting the blueprint from which reality flows. You no longer allow random or fearful chatter to dictate your experience. You choose the words and outcome you prefer. And when you persist, life bends to those words. In 1 month, by guarding and guiding every inner conversation, you will feel your identity transform. You will think as a wealthy person thinks, speak as a wealthy person speaks, and act as a wealthy person acts. Will have no choice but to confirm it with visible wealth, opportunities, and abundance. So decide now. From this moment, word within you will betray your goal. You will not speak against yourself, not even in silence. Every whisper will be a word of power, dialogue a rehearsal of wealth already achieved. Make this discipline your constant practice. And in 30 days, you will see how every silent word has worked faithfully to build the millionaire reality you chose. Practice daily revision. This is the art of rewriting your inner script so that your mind and heart are aligned with abundance instead of lack. Is filled with countless moments where you succeeded, moments where you stumbled, and moments where doubt crept in. People replay these moments as they were, carrying the weight of failure, rejection, or fear into the next day. You are not required to accept the day exactly as it happened. You are a creator, and creators edit. Revision is the conscious choice to go back in memory, take a scene that disturbed your peace, and reimagine it until it reflects your desired outcome. In doing this, you are not escaping reality, you are teaching your subconscious what to accept as fact. And because the subconscious does not argue, it takes your revised story and begins to shape tomorrow according to it. Imagine, for example, that you made a business proposal and it was declined. Replay that memory as a failure, the disappointment lingers, and it colors your next attempt. You hesitate, you second guess, you shrink. But if the day you sit quietly and revise the scene, see the person smiling, hear the words, "Yes, we'll move forward," feel the relief of success, then that becomes the impression your subconscious holds. By doing this, you are planting new seeds. Tomorrow will grow from those seeds, not from the weeds of failure. This practice is especially powerful when wealth is your goal. The path to financial breakthrough is often lined with temporary setbacks, delayed responses, or apparent rejections. Without revision, build a case against your belief. Say it's not working. See, it's impossible. But with revision, you rob those moments of their power to let them testify against your future. Instead, you transform them into allies, each one affirming, "It is working, it is possible." Over 30 days, this practice accumulates into a powerful momentum. You walk into each new day free of yesterday's burdens, the certainty of success. Revision is not complicated. At night, when you are preparing for sleep, let your mind drift over the day. Wherever you encounter a scene that made you feel small, insecure, or limited, pause and rewrite it. See it unfold in your favor. Nervous in a meeting, replay it with calm confidence. If someone dismissed your idea, replay them praising it. At your account balance and felt fear, replay it with numbers that filled you with relief and gratitude. Analyze whether it could have happened differently. Simply choose how it should have happened and replay that until you feel the satisfaction. If the feeling arises, you can release it, knowing it is planted. The beauty of revision is that it not only heals the memory, but also transforms your self-concept. The more you revise, more you train your subconscious to believe you are always favored, always supported, always successful. Your subconscious accepts this identity, life reflects it. Opportunities arrive as though the world has been conspiring for you all along. People treat you with greater respect. New ideas seem to come from nowhere. This is not magic, it is the natural law of consciousness. What you impress within must express without. You will also notice that revision changes your emotional state. Instead of ending your day in frustration or worry, you end it in peace and satisfaction. This emotional tone carries into your sleep. Your sleep becomes a workshop where the subconscious continues to work on the new impressions. You wake lighter, freer, more confident. Morning becomes a continuation of your chosen story rather than a replay of old limitations. Over time, your life begins to mirror this inner editing process. Where others see obstacles, you see openings. Where others dwell on mistakes, you extract victories. Daily revision also deepens your persistence. It teaches you that no event is final until you decide it is. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the one who gives them meaning. With revision, even the most discouraging moment can become a stepping stone. Every no into a yes, every closed door into an open one, every disappointment into triumph. This resilience is what keeps you moving when others give up. It is the secret to staying aligned with your vision for 30 days and beyond. Commit to this practice. Every night before you surrender to sleep, revise your day into alignment with your wealth. Make every scene testify in your favor. Conscious folly saturated with success. Do this consistently for 1 month, and you will discover that life itself has been revised. Will present you with the wealth you have already rehearsed. You will see your bank account change, your business expand, your opportunities multiply. It was not luck. It was the deliberate rewriting of your inner script. Revision is your daily reset, your quiet miracle. Scene, work that guarantees the scene results. Beyond appearances, this is the principle that separates those who merely wish from those who create. Appearances are deceptive, lag behind your inner assumptions. You may assume wealth, you may feel yourself to be a millionaire, the outer world may still show you unpaid bills, small numbers in your account, or delayed opportunities. If you judge by appearances, abandon your vision and collapse into discouragement. Persist if you hold the state of the end fulfilled in spite of what your eyes see. Then appearances must eventually yield. The cause, it is the echo. The cause is within, and persistence ensures that the echo matches the song you are singing in your imagination. Planting a seed. When you put it in the ground, the soil does not instantly burst with fruit. Days may pass where nothing seems to happen. The surface, roots are spreading, life is unfolding invisibly. If you dig up the seed too soon because you see no result, you destroy the process, is no different. The moment you assume the identity of a millionaire, the seed is planted. Life immediately begins to rearrange itself. Contacts, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances shift in unseen ways. You may not witness the evidence right away, but persistence ensures that you protect the seed until it breaks the surface. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is faith in action. The decision to remain loyal to your inner vision even when the outer world seems hostile. Many give up because they confuse delay with denial. If it hasn't happened yet, maybe it never will. But persistence whispers, it is already done, simply catching up. The world must conform because the law of consciousness demands it. When you persist long enough for appearances to lose their power over you, you stop asking, when, and begin saying, This persistence shapes not only your results but your character. Each time you choose to hold faith against appearances, you strengthen your identity. You prove to yourself that you are greater than circumstances. You begin to walk with a calm confidence. You know that the outer world is nothing more than clay in the hands of your inner assumption. This quiet strength makes you unshakable. May panic, but you remain steady. Others may quit, but you continue. And because you continue, you win. Imagine facing a deal you expected in days takes weeks. The old self would react with frustration, anxiety, or despair. But persistence says, this is the bridge of events unfolding. The end is secure. By refusing to waver, you remain aligned with wealth. Ain ensures that even delays work for your good. Sometimes what looks like a setback is simply life arranging something greater than you planned. Persistence allows you to stay in position long enough to receive it. You may also notice that persistence reshapes how people treat you. A person who refuses to be swayed by appearances carries an energy of certainty. Others feel it and respond with respect. Investors trust you, clients believe in you, opportunities gravitate toward you. Why? You are not reacting to the temporary surface. You are rooted in the deeper reality of your assumption. People are drawn to stability. Persistence makes you that anchor. Over 30 days, persistence becomes your greatest weapon. Every morning you choose again, I am a millionaire. Every night you reaffirm it before sleep. During the day, no matter what comes, you refuse to betray that state. Obstacle arises, you declare, this too is part of the unfolding. If someone doubts you, you silently affirm, who I am. With each act of persistence, you deepen the groove of wealth in your subconscious. And as the groove deepens, has no choice but to follow. The danger is in letting appearances dictate your state. You let the outer world convince you that you have failed. You abandon the power that creates. But the moment you refuse, you win. Remember, are always behind schedule. They are yesterday's news. What you hold inside today will show outside tomorrow. Do not give up before the harvest. Dig up the seed because the sprout has not yet broken the ground. So persist. Persist when it is easy, and persist when it is difficult. When the evidence agrees, and persist when it disagrees. Stand firm in the conviction that your wealth is already real, already yours, ready, established. Smile at appearances because you know they are only temporary shadows. Keep your inner state loyal to abundance. Life will bend to reflect it. In 1 month, you will look back and see how every moment of persistence carried you closer. At last, the invisible became visible, the assumption became fact, and the wealth you claimed within stood shining in your hands. A 30-day protocol. This is the structured path that transforms desire into embodiment and embodiment into visible wealth. Without discipline, strongest vision fades. But when you create a daily rhythm that aligns imagination, thought, action, and rest, you condition yourself to live in the millionaire identity until it hardens into fact. A protocol is not meant to restrict you, to free you by removing doubt and hesitation. It ensures that every day, every hour, you are moving from the state of wealth, not chasing after it. 30 days may sound short, but with focused consistency, it is enough to reprogram your inner world so that the outer world must reflect it. Each morning with embodiment. The first minutes after waking are powerful because the mind is still soft, not yet hardened by the noise of the day. Checking your phone or recalling yesterday's struggles, close your eyes and enter a gentle drowsiness. Imagine yourself already living as a millionaire. It may be as simple as feeling the texture of a fine suit, hearing the congratulatory words of a friend, seeing a message that confirms your breakthrough. Don't complicate the scene. Keep it short, specific, and satisfying. Let the emotion of relief, gratitude, and confidence wash over you until it feels natural. This morning ritual plants the seed afresh every day. Repetition makes the assumption stronger. Carry this feeling into your day with midday check-ins. Every few hours, pause and ask, from which state am I living right now? If you catch yourself worrying about bills, doubting opportunities, or shrinking back in fear, place your hand on your heart, whisper, "Thank you. It is already done," and feel the shift. These small moments of redirection keep you anchored in the identity of wealth. Without them, it is easy to drift back into the old self, doubts, and struggles. With them, you train yourself to stay loyal to the millionaire state no matter what happens externally. Daily inspired action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. From the identity of wealth, ask someone like me do today. The answer may be to make a bold call, refine a product, raise your price, invest in learning, or cut an expense. The action does not need to be enormous, it only needs to be aligned. Millionaire identity does not procrastinate or act in fear. It moves with clarity and decisiveness. By taking at least one concrete step each day, you demonstrate faith in your assumption. You show life that you are serious, and life responds by opening doors. Generosity must also be part of the protocol. Each day, give something, your time, your attention, your skill, your encouragement, your resources. This is not loss, it is circulation. And wealth are not stagnant pools, but flowing rivers. When you let wealth move through you, it cannot help but return to you in greater measure. A tip, kind gesture, an extra mile of service. All of these signal that you already live from abundance. How can I get to? How can I give? And in that giving, you become magnetic to even more. Time revision is the final step of the protocol. Before sleep, replay the day. Wherever you stumbled into doubt or fear, rewrite the scene. Confident, successful, and favored. Hear the yes instead of the no. See abundance instead of lack. Mind fall asleep, marinating in the feeling of fulfillment. This nightly practice ensures that your subconscious spends hours reinforcing the millionaire identity while you rest. You awaken lighter, clearer. Over 30 days, this repetition rewires your mind completely, making wealth the only natural state for you. Once a week, expansion ritual. Write a letter from your future self dated 30 days ahead, describing the wealth you now enjoy. Detail the contracts, the deposits, the freedom. Read it aloud with conviction, then set it aside. Exercise enlarges your vision and reminds you that the end is already secured. It also prevents complacency, that each week you stretch your imagination further. The 30-day protocol is simple: morning embodiment, midday check-ins, daily inspired action, conscious generosity, and nighttime revision with weekly expansion. These practices weave together into a fabric of certainty. Day after day, they deepen the groove of wealth in your subconscious. Even when appearances lag, the protocol keeps you steady. Even when doubt knocks, protocol pulls you back. And because you persist, the outer world must eventually reflect the inner order you have established. In 1 month, you will not just have tried an experiment. You will have reprogrammed your identity. You will no longer be someone who hopes for wealth. You will be someone for whom wealth is natural. By following this protocol, you condition yourself into the reality of abundance until it is no longer effort, but instinct. And when the 30 days close around and see that the millionaire you decided to be on day one has become the millionaire you are in fact. This is the power of discipline. This is the reward of persistence. This is the miracle of a simple, unshakable 30-day protocol. We have walked together through the path of wealth creation, not as a far-off dream, but as a present reality waiting to be claimed. Seen that becoming a millionaire in 1 month is not about chasing after numbers. It is about stepping into a state of being where wealth is natural and secure. It begins with assuming the identity, not someday, but now. It continues with living from the end, rehearsing in your heart the truth of fulfillment until it feels like second nature. It deepens as you master your inner conversations, ensuring every silent word speaks in harmony with abundance. It grows stronger as you revise your days, doubt into confidence, and setbacks into victories. It is sealed with persistence, refusing to bow to appearances and holding faith until the world conforms. And it becomes unshakable when you follow a daily protocol that keeps you aligned and faithful to your decision. This is not theory. It is the law of life. The inner shapes the outer. The invisible precedes the visible. The state you inhabit today will be the life you live tomorrow. If you persist in these practices for 30 days, will not be a hope. It will be your experience. Opportunities will appear, ideas will flow, connections will form, resources will move toward you as though they had been waiting all along. So as you leave this moment, carry one truth. Above all, you already are. Live it, speak it, walk in it, and the evidence will rise to meet you. The month ahead is your canvas. Your imagination holds the brush. Paint it with certainty, persistence, and gratitude. The masterpiece of abundance takes form before your eyes. Your millionaire self is not in the distance. It is here, now. Claim it, live it. The world prove you right.